Today on Behind the Strength, we're talking about a journey where health meets ambition. We're joined by Simran Bapu, an entrepreneur who turned a personal need into a brand that's redefining how we look at indulgence. From navigating nutrition to building a business that challenges the idea that healthy can taste good. Her story is one of resilience, risk, and reinvention. Welcome to Behind the Strength.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to be here.
Simran, before Paleoo Bakes, who was Simran?
Okay, not as confident, not as bold. I think a very shy college-going student because I started this back in college, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I was I think 19,
Wow.
20, yeah, and third year of my graduation. When I was going to college, I was doing a job in a hospital. I'm a nutritionist, right? So jobs, and then there was Paleoo. So yeah, not as confident as today, of course. I think these last 8 years have really shaped my personality, and yeah, so that's about it.
Amazing. Was there any personal health experience, that shaped your journey into nutrition?
Not really. I think into nutrition, right?
Into nutrition.
So I did have PCOD, but that wasn't my main focus as to why I got into paleo or nutrition as a profession in general. I think my family members who were really diabetic and they had cancer and they had a lot of other health issues, right? Like in today's time, we all know.
Of course.
So I think that kind of pushed me to take up nutrition. Surprisingly and very funnily, when I did take up nutrition, I was very unhealthy myself. I used to be like 90 kilos and stuff. So when I got into nutrition, when paleo happened is when I lost all the weight, and then I took up nutrition, sorry, I lost it.
No, I think you've taken up nutrition as more or less as something which resonated with you at that point of time.
Correct,
You
correct.
identified with the problems.
I took it more seriously back then.
Yeah,
Correct.
because only if you identify with the problems are you going to understand what you're solving.
Right, 100%.
Right. What gap in the market led to Paleoo Bakes?
I was just coming to that. So I think back then, 8 years back, there were very few bakeries that did healthy.
Correct.
And not actually healthy, it was just perceptionally healthy. So that's the gap that I saw. I used to work in a couple of hospitals, like I mentioned earlier, and how much ever you tell a diabetic to not eat sweets,
Right.
it's not possible for us Indians to not indulge. We need our taste, our palate is such, right?
Correct.
So that's when I realized that okay, there needs to be something really tasty as well as healthy, and at that time there was nothing.
Right.
So that's the gap that I saw, and I started building recipes with my mother, which were all nut based because these are good fats, right? There was no carb because I think as Indians we have a lot of carbs in our diet.
Absolutely,
Irrespective.
yes.
So I think dessert, the carb bit can be avoided.
Absolutely,
That's
yes.
how paleo came in the picture and the name to be.
Of course. What does Paleoo mean?
So paleo is an ancient diet. It was called the Paleolithic diet, which means no grain, essentially. No grain, no sugar, and no dairy. So that's how I started doing experiments with nut flours and nut milks. So yeah, that's paleo.
That's amazing because personally I have tasted your, the products and
Correct.
kind of output that Paleoo Bakes has, and it's delicious considering that most of it is so healthy, and I think
Right.
everything is healthy.
Everything is healthy.
Everything is
Yeah,
healthy, 100%
correct.
healthy,
Yes.
and then you've got good flavor as well, which is very tough to get.
Yeah,
To
it
meet
was
that
very
sweet
difficult to
spot.
crack. I agree. Yeah,
Very,
yeah.
I'm sure it must have been.
Yeah.
Did you ever doubt if this concept would work?
So I did initially because I was of course a 20-year-old girl, like going to college and doing a job, and so I did not know that it would reach where it has reached today. Of course, I had those preconceived notions that what if it does not work. That's why I did not leave my job at that time, right? But when COVID happened, I had to leave my job by default because of course my parents didn't want me to go into that environment,
Of
right?
course, yes.
So when COVID happened, I was at home and my paleo had my full focus, my full attention. So I think it was consistency, I think, and persistence. That's all. I never thought it would reach where it has today. But yeah, I kept showing up irrespective.
Yes.
That's what helped, I think.
I think consistency helped.
Is key, yeah.
Absolutely, and I think also maintaining the quality helped.
Very important.
Most
very
important at the end of the day.
Yeah, because when you scale, that's a big challenge.
Very big challenge. What is the biggest misconception today about, sugar and health?
So, okay, I don't think sugar is the problem. I do consume sugar once in a while. I think people who want to consume sugar on a daily basis, right?
Right.
That is the problem. So I love my gulab jamuns once in a while. It's funny coming from me, but because yeah, of course, I do indulge once in a week or once in 10 days, and I don't see any problem in that. The problem is when you're having unlimited sugar on a daily basis, because we all crave. I crave every day. I love my sweets more than my food.
Correct.
So that's how paleo came into the picture, right? So if you're having something healthy with alternatives, I don't think there's any issue. People today go on extremes. I am not an extremist in terms of diet or sugar or whatever, workouts also, right? But I think balance is key
Balance
in
is
all that you do. Yeah.
So, do you think that even the quantity of sugar, say a person has sugar every day, but the
Right.
quantity of sugar would of course make a difference, no?
Of course, it does not. See, for example, I love my chai. I'm a chai person, not a coffee person. So I used to have a lot of sugar in my chai earlier, and that's 3 cups a day. That's a lot of sugar.
Right.
So now I do like once a day chai with little sugar.
Correct.
So of course, it does help. Yes, to answer your question.
Do you think people are emotionally dependent on food, especially when you come in with the indulgent side of food, like, sin food, as people call it?
Oh, yeah. So I think your emotional stress and whatever is linked to food, as people say. Luckily, I've never had that problem. So, but I don't know how it actually works, right? But people are really dependent on food. Like my mother, for example, she'll not have dinner. She's fine, but she wants her ice creams or her gulab jamun.
Yeah.
So yeah, people of course are dependent on food, because I think that's one thing that's I think your entire life, I feel now.
Absolutely.
People work for food. I mean, for
It just
good
keeps them
food,
happy
right?
at some point.
100%, 100%. So yeah, I think it is linked. But of course, if you switch to healthier options, and I think initially there were not a lot of bakeries
Exactly.
or restaurants doing healthy food, right? But in today's day and age, every second place is getting into the healthy lifestyle
Segment,
bit,
yeah.
100%.
Yes.
So this category on a whole is increasing.
Right.
So I think now when people do have options, they must switch, and I think it is getting better. India on an
Also,
average is
I feel, sorry to interject, but
No,
also I feel, Simran, that earlier when you had healthy options, they were very expensive because
Yeah.
it was very exclusive to have that. Also, the ingredients were not easily sourced
Available, yeah.
and available. Today, it's a little better, so it is a little easier to kind of indulge in something which is healthy. Earlier, it was like, kaun itne paise dalega? Why would I put the
100%.
money into something like this?
Exactly, but
I
now-
would rather give it up, and in that giving
Correct,
it up,
correct.
it would not work.
Yes, you're right. You're absolutely right. I think now people know that awareness is more.
Right.
Personally, the number of gyms,
Right.
cafes doing healthy food, doing vegan food, doing sugar-free is increasing. Even the cafes and all, bakeries and all, who used to do just indulgent food or desserts, are now also giving options for sugar-free.
Correct.
Which I think is
Yes.
great, right? Because not everyone wants to indulge now.
Absolutely.
And people also know the amount of, every year the number of diabetics, cancer patients are increasing.
Absolutely.
So I think it's getting there. Now we're all lactose intolerant. Even me, like when I was young,
I am.
I was never lactose
So,
intolerant. Never,
it
never,
happens
ever.
at some point of time. I guess it's also the environment, the stress of life.
Gluten, lactose,
Everything.
everything. It's all modified. It's very different food back then and today.
Yes, the quality,
So-
of course, makes a very big difference.
Correct.
What were the toughest early days like?
So, like you said, sourcing,
Right.
it used to be very expensive for me. So, what back then, surprisingly, I charged for like 2,000 rupees half a kilo, is now much cheaper.
Yes, I've seen that.
Normally, yeah, you get it, right? Normally, prices increase, it never comes down. But now, because demand is there, supply is more.
100%.
So, I think.
and even the availability of your raw goods would be more. Yes.
Correct, 100%. So now it's getting better. So that was one main challenge. And of course, I started this very young. I had no sense of business, or I was never a baker. It just happened on the go, right? I was a nutritionist. So luckily, my mom was a baker. So we kind of, exchanged our skills and knowledge. And that's how it all happened. But yeah, scaling was a very big problem. Logistics, very big problem. Because, say, for example, something made with maida and almond flour, very big difference in the texture bit of it, right? Something with maida stays sturdy, it's intact. With almond flour, it cracks, it crumbles. Because it's softer.
Right.
Because it has its natural oil.
Correct.
So these, of course, I think my recipes back then, say 6 years before and today, very big difference. It's much more healthier, much more better now, because of course those kind of ingredients are available in India, which were not there earlier. And of course we also learn on the go.
Absolutely.
So yeah.
What about the shelf life of the products?
Yeah, that was a big challenge earlier.
sure it would have
Very big. Everything was made fresh.
Right.
So when I say fresh, okay, so very big problem even today. Now that we've scaled and we have like 3-4 outlets and we're also expanding this year, people think we've become massy or we're not fresh anymore. That's not the case. It's just the notion that people have because we've scaled, right? So okay, firstly it's almond flour. There's no maida, there's no egg, there's no dairy. By default, the shelf life increases.
Absolutely.
Right. Something with curd and milk will get spoiled earlier.
Yes.
So it's everything is still fresh, but fresh in the sense, say it lasts for say for example, a cake would last for a week in the fridge. When we buy something from outside, we don't end up eating the entire thing that very same day, irrespective.
Yes.
But we still consume it over a period of time, like say 2 days or 3 days or 4 days, right? Now shelf life has increased. My products have a very good shelf life, but people think of it as a stale product, although it's a great product. So this was a challenge, but I think people are getting better now. I think I'm taking that effort into making them understand what the product really is and how it lasts that long.
The ingredients as to what they are and how whatever's not there in its
right. So it's not like pre-made. Every 2 days we have a new batch, and 2 days is not stale. It's fresh.
Not at all. Yes,
exactly. It's better than a retail or a packaged product. That's the reason why we haven't entered retail as of now. Because I'm still trying to crack something without preservatives. And the day I do that, I think I'll enter the retail wing.
That's a tough challenge.
Very tough challenge.
Can people enjoy food without guilt?
So, off late, I've started this whole personal branding thing and, trying to talk about ingredients and food to people for better knowledge, of course. So, I think food can be had without guilt. Like I mentioned, I take sugar every day, a little bit of sugar, but there's no guilt attached because, of course, I work out. The intake of food that I do is great. It's not unhealthy in any way. So I don't think, and I think it's a lot to do with your mind, right? So if you think that it's going to make you gain weight, it is going to make you gain weight.
Absolutely.
So I think, and my mom taught me that 100%, because when I lost all the weight, right, I didn't want to gain it back. So anything I used to eat, I used to ask, Mom, have I gained weight? Like, I'm okay, right? She's like, bro, it's all in your mind. She's like, if you think you're going to gain weight, you are going to gain weight.
That's right.
And that did help me. I don't think of guilt food, indulgent food, to now make me gain weight or, to be negative per se.
Of course, you're creating something which is...
Correct.
You don't really have to feel guilty about.
Correct.
Was there ever a point where you felt you wanted to give up?
No, that never happened with me. God has been kind. Because I started really young, right? I didn't have that stress or baggage or whatever you may call it of earning money for the house or, doing something. I was 19, 20, so I was well taken care of, touch wood. But I never had that. Of course, there were difficult times later on in life. And when COVID happened, then when ingredients got expensive. I think you all must be knowing chocolates, the rate of chocolate, prices of chocolate went up really high because the crops in Africa were spoiled.
Absolutely.
Of course, there were challenges. Everything suffered. Of course, there were challenges, but I never felt like giving up because this is it for me. Paleo is it for me, Never give up, and I have my mom by my side, which is like my biggest strength. So she never let me give up, even if I thought about it. That thought only never came, to be very honest. So she was there, like rock solid behind me. Absolutely. That really helps.
I'm sure that
really helps.
You need someone to believe in you.
100%. So I think I'm very blessed to have her as my partner and nobody else.
What did it feel like walking into Shark Tank?
Yeah. So I'll tell you, very funny. I don't like cameras. I am very camera conscious. I mean, I can talk really well. The minute I see a camera pointing at me, I'm like jitters max. So Shark Tank, when they approached me, initially I felt like I can never go to Shark Tank because I haven't scaled, I was a home baker, etc. But when they approached me, I was in shock firstly. I was like, Mom, they've approached, should we do this, should we not do this? She's like, you must. I was like, bro, what is you must? We must.
Yes.
So she's like, no, I will not come. And I was like, okay, we still have 6 months from when they approached till the episode aired, right? So I said, okay, let's give it a try. It can happen. So we went to Shark Tank and there were rehearsals of the pitch, etc. And if it's scripted, I'm dead. I'm gone.
Happens, yes.
If it's a natural conversation, I'm great.
Yes, absolutely.
So it was very difficult. There were 7 days of practice for the pitch and everything. And it was the first time that I had to pitch. I was pitching my brand to someone, right? And those are all big people sitting there. It can be very intimidating, I feel.
Right, absolutely.
No matter how great you're doing in life, but it can be very intimidating.
It can be a reflection to whatever you've done and you see a different side of it completely.
Exactly. It may go south. Yeah, exactly, right? Either way. So I don't know what's going to happen, but I was like, okay, we've come so far, and there's a reason that they've come and approached me, right? I think I must do it. It's God's sign.
Right.
So I went and it was great. I entered the tank. The pitch got over like this for me. I did not see anyone. I just kept blabbering. So Vinita, at the end, she was like, Simran, thoda aur jaldi bol lete hain. And I was like, see, I'm sorry, but I'm not redoing this.
That tends to happen.
Yeah.
It's like a one take.
One take, that's it. I can't do it again.
No,
I'm
not
sorry.
again, not again.
That's just me. But then as the conversation followed, I think it was great. And then there was no problem. Because they were all also very kind and yeah. So it was good. They understood that I was young and I was scared, of course.
I'm sure they know that. They're quite experienced when they're sitting right there. They have to have
Correct,
the experience
correct.
too.
So it was very comfortable as the conversation proceeded. So it was great otherwise.
What do people not see behind the scenes? And this is not Shark Tank, this is about you.
So most of it.
Most of it.
Most of
Always.
it. Most of it. So when someone orders on Zomato or on our website, sometimes, of course, we're not 100% every day.
Right.
Sometimes the cake falls, it's hot. So a lot goes into building a brand and into even making one cake, right? So very easy for people just to just complain and put bad reviews, even if it's not our fault. I think it's the industry. The industry is such. Then there are people sometimes who order from 2 different places and purposely put wrong reviews.
Oh my
And they
God.
mix up cakes just to get the refund back from Zomato.
Yeah.
So it's a challenge every day. But I have a team of 40 today, okay, and each one of them needs this job, right? So people don't understand that part, and a lot of work goes into what we're doing, what we're building, sleepless nights, because one bad review also changes everything. You take a lot of
Of course,
stress.
there's a lot of emotions behind it.
Correct, because one bad mouth again, because it's taken us 8 years to build this. It's not been easy.
Of course not.
Right? It's not a legacy brand that I've just gotten.
Right.
I've done this from scratch. So people don't understand this, I feel. I think for any brand, like I am also a consumer to a lot of different brands, a lot of restaurants, a lot of cafes. But there's a way of saying and getting what you want, and I think that's basics. But people don't really have that in today's time.
I think easy access to a lot of brands and products has made everybody a critic.
You're right. Yeah, that's the word, a critic. Everyone becomes self-proclaimed critics.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Everybody, whether it's good or bad, everybody's a critic.
Correct. And then there are people who kind of, they're like, we'll put it here, we'll put it there. I'm like, for one cake? Like, one cake?
And I'm sure you can't make that.
Exactly. It's so pricey. Then, of course, there's the pricing bit of it, but it's the quality, right? Like, people don't understand. Like, when you go to a restaurant, you are okay paying 3,000 for a dish. But for a cake, it pinches you because it's coming from a cloud kitchen or whatever.
Precisely. No, but precise to, again, as you said, it's healthy. That,
Right. It's healthy.
Yeah, and I'm not being an advocate, but it's something out of experience, and I have seen other brands selling it at a higher price.
You're right.
Okay, what does clean indulgence mean to you?
So like I said, clean indulgence, of course, first is a state of mind, right? Anything can be clean when you think of it. I feel that. So, but I think today clean indulgence is more to do with the quality of ingredients that you're having.
Yeah.
It can be rice, but from where it's procured, what kind of rice, is again like with sugar also, right? So there's brown sugar. People don't know that it's not actually good for your health.
Absolutely.
It's got a higher GI than even sugar. Jaggery being the very same. But there's kind of jaggery. Now there's stevia, there's monk fruit. Of course, people don't know monk fruit also in India is not 100% monk fruit because it's very expensive otherwise. It's all imported, right? But people don't have that knowledge as of now. But clean ingredients for me is just healthier options. Nothing can be the healthiest.
Right.
It's always healthier, right? So even paleo is healthier.
Correct.
Of course there's calories. People don't understand that. They're like, can I get a zero calorie cake? And I'm like, how is that even possible? So clean ingredients, I think, is just something that you're choosing as a healthier alternative to what you're currently eating.
Correct.
So for me, it's just that. Like, I love my gulab jamun, right? But I asked my mom to make it in tofu or in paneer or whatever.
Yeah, something
right?
which is not mawa,
100%.
something which is a little heavy.
Correct. It can be then, it can have date syrup, it can have jaggery syrup instead of the chutney that is normally there. So it's just that. So I think now, I wasn't this way until like 5 years back. But because the body demands, I also have PCOD, right?
Correct.
So I have to be in check at all point in time. I do have my indulgent days, but like on a daily basis, this is the lifestyle that I've chosen for myself.
Right.
So yeah.
And when it comes to calorie counts per portion, you're taking that into account while you make while the cakes are being made.
The cakes, yes. Personally, I don't. When I eat food, I don't do calorie counting. I think it's pointless. When your body will ask for food, and you can't starve your body. If it's asking, you have to feed
You
it.
have to feed it.
It is just stupidity
but in
if you.
proportion.
100%.
Yes.
I'm not saying you go like berserk in
Yeah.
eating, but then you know when to stop.
Correct.
If you're eating at home, if you're having a good meal after a workout, if you're gonna eat a little bit more, I don't think there's any problem. So I never weigh my food. I eat as my body demands, but I eat the right thing.
Correct.
So the difference is that basically.
Right. How important is storytelling in a brand, especially behind Paleoo Bakes?
Very important. Very important. I'd never realized this until today. So 8 years doing Paleoo, then Shark Tank happened, but there was never a story, right? Because I was one person doing everything, one man army, as you say, right? So either I could run the brand or I could focus on telling the story and on me and on my mother and what we tried to build all these years. So of course it was very difficult before because we were doing everything by ourselves, right? No marketing, no agencies on board, not enough staff. But today, by the grace of God, when we have that, so I'm trying to educate my consumers as to what we're doing, why we're doing, whether it's a mother-daughter duo. I think Shark Tank played a very big role in that. It really helped getting the story out. So yeah, ever since then, I've tried to be more interactive with the consumers for them to understand what paleo actually is.
And I think
And it's not
that's
just a
helped.
money-making business.
No, it's coming from a very informative spot. So
Correct.
that's understandable. What challenges do women entrepreneurs face, Simran?
Okay, so of course, I was young when I started this. I have personally faced nothing, but I have seen my mother face issues. Like, for example, she had to be at home at a certain time to give food to the family. So I'm not married, so I wouldn't know, right? But all these years also, my brother was younger than me. He's 7 years younger to me. So she had to be home at sharp 7 to give him food, to take him to his classes, then to give food to my dad. For example. So it was very difficult. She had to be on her toes at all point in time. So if a man is working, it's great. He's not expected to do what a woman is expected to do.
Absolutely.
But which is why even my office and my home is very close. It's 5 minutes away. Right. So when we opened, so we were home bakers. It was easy then because she was at home. But when we had to select our office location, it had to be close by because she had to cater to the needs of the house. So I think that's a real big challenge. She could not travel. She could not go for meetings the way I could. That's why she's not on camera and not as much as visible as I am today because she's at the back end, right? So I mean, she chooses to be. That's a different
She's the
thing.
spine.
Yeah, she is the spine. Correct.
spine.
But my point being, so I think a lot more is demanded from women today than men. I think that we all know.
24 hours job.
24 hours job, correct.
No weekdays, no weekends.
100%, 100%. Even now in office, she'll come and get me my food and she'll be like, it's 2 o'clock. So, it never ends. It's a loop that is never going to end.
Absolutely,
But I think the world is changing now, so it's getting better. So, again, personally faced nothing but seen in my own families. Like, everyone's been supportive, but still, if you're a woman, you're expected.
Unfortunately. True.
Correct.
Advice for women starting out.
I think just do it. Yeah, honestly. Because, you just have to start. Just start. The rest will follow.
Absolutely.
Right. I mean, of course, I've been lucky, fortunate enough for my family to be supporting me the way they do right now. My mother, especially. So, even if you don't have that kind of support, like, I have a lot of women working for me, right? Now, in my kitchen, who are expected to leave their job once they're married. But I'm kind of changing that. I have personally spoken to their families because they're talented, they're great, they're making good money. Why would you want them to leave?
It's always it's imperatives to start a movement.
Exactly. So I'm trying that. I'm not like all feminist and I would don't go and preach, but I try and do as much as I can in the society.
Absolutely.
And starting from my own people who work for me.
That's right.
So
it always starts at home, let's put it that way.
100%.
Always starts at home.
100%.
How has this journey changed you?
Become very grounded, humble. I think it's the other way around in life. When people become more successful is when they take it to their heads. But for me it's been otherwise. Because I think when you trying to climb that ladder, people try to pull you down, right? And I've lost a lot of people during these 9 years of my life. So I think that has really changed me as a person. Like I said, I used to be a very, never boastful, but I used to be a very different person back then than what I am today. Of course, I was 20 and I'm 29. There's a difference in my age as well. But it's made me very humble, grounded, seeing the reality of life, having worked with a lot of people, staff, labor, people who are working day in, day out on Zomato, or sorry, on Porter, all these apps, when you hear their stories, it's different, right?
It's very
It hits you different. So I think Paleo has done a lot good to me, leaving the money aspect of it, the business making aspect of it. It has made me a very humble and grounded person. So yeah,
That makes a very, very, very big difference to the future of your business as well.
100%.
It does.
100%.
And as a human, of course. Who are you outside your business?
So I think I'm this person. I'm a very candid person in business, apart from my business. So I think all the people who saw me on Shark Tank, right? They were like, you were so natural and you were so kind. I was like, this is me.
Yeah.
I
You
can't
can't be
pretend.
anybody
This is me. I am
must.
very. I cannot. I just cannot. This is me, good or bad. I don't care. But this is me. I'm very candid, very to the point. I can't beat around the bush. Like this is how I am.
always
Full of gratitude. And a lot of people like Tripti, for example, they've helped me a lot in this journey. I've met so many, so I did not make a lot of friends. In these 8 years, I was busy working. So when all my friends were partying and clubbing, I was making cakes at home, of course, right? But fortunately, so a lot of my clients are now my friends today, which is, I think, great. It also because I used to handle the calls and everything before, everything was done by me. So a lot of comfort I found in my work itself. So today I have a lot of friends and they used to be my clients, friends and family today, which I think is great.
Amazing.
So
and
yeah.
Those are the ones that are quite lasting because they've all met you at a very...
They have seen my journey, I can
Exactly.
say. And they have
seen your
supported
journey.
me and how.
Amazing. They will last.
I'm hoping.
Of course they will. What does strength mean to you?
Behind me, of course, is my work and my mother, like I mentioned, right? Strength, I think, has nothing to do with who you financially are, whether you're independent doesn't really matter. It's who's supporting you. I think that's very important. So I was not always born this way, right? Like I did not have the best time growing up in my school, bullying, and I used to be a very fat kid. So, but then when you get the kind of support from your family and friends, it's different. So of course, when you're young, you don't understand all of these things. Strength is more like verbal and physical, but mental strength is what it is, right? 100%. It's mental strength. So I think when you are confident and bold and you don't care what the world says and you have your one person standing with you, that's all that matters. So strength for me is my work. I love my work. I can work 24/7, not complaining. I'm okay with no trips and no clubbing, no partying. I'm good. So strength, yeah, my work gave me a lot of confidence in life.
It's amazing.
A lot. So like I said, it's changed me as to who I was 7 years back and today. And my mother, of course.
Of course.
So yeah.
I resonate with that completely. One myth about healthy eating.
Extreme diets like keto.
Yeah, okay. One habit to change today.
Thinking of something to be the healthiest, it has to be healthier.
One diet mistake.
For me personally,
In general.
I tried keto. I lost a lot of hair.
One thing entrepreneurs get wrong.
PNLs.
Profit and
I
loss.
think for someone starting, it's difficult. I never understood back then, but it's key.
Absolutely.
It's key.
What is balance?
Balance is a state of mind. Yeah, I mean, I'm a little lost here. I'm sorry. That's fine, right? Yes, I think it's a state of mind. What is balance? Is just that.
Precisely. Sometimes the strongest choices are the ones that change how we live. One small habit at a time. And who better than you to tell us about that? Thank you very much, Simran.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure. Likewise.
Same here. Great having you with us.
Likewise.